The men who are out here only trying to have sex with women and have no emotional connection, they're weirdos. A lot of this red pill, how to get girls stuff, a lot of them are like that as well. They're like the peak masculine life is just to have a bunch of women that you barely know. And that's stupid. That's fucking ridiculous, right? Every man, if you want to have a good life, you need to have a good relationship with a good woman. When you get sick, it's your woman who's going to care, not your boys, right? But you can love her and she can love you with all her heart. You can love each other. You can be prepared to take a bullet for her. Yeah. And still fuck other bitches.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's no big deal. Yeah. You gotta do, we gotta do, we gotta do.
There's one super chat I want to answer, and I think you're going to agree with my answer. It is, which red pill guy do you think is the biggest dork, etc., etc.? They are all talking about me right now. All the ones who've criticized me, all the ones who've criticized Andrew, and they're talking about me and making videos about me, despite begging to be in my organizations, begging to be on my podcasts, begging me to be on their podcasts for ages, because me and Andrew are now far more relevant than they could ever dream of being. I'm not going to say any of their names because that's exactly what they want when they try to bait me by making stupid videos. They want me to sit here and be like, well, this guy said, I don't care.
I mean, is anybody surprised? Because look, you have to understand one thing, and as much as like there's a lot to be put aside, right? You eat the meat and you throw out the bones whenever Tate speaks. I think we can all agree that the reason why this is like, it's not even a surprise that he wants to dissociate with himself with the red pill is because anybody with a sane mind or that has any relationship with women whatsoever knows, or experience with women whatsoever, knows that like what's being prescribed, right, by the red pill, by a lot of the people that are a part of the movement, is having meaningless sex, right, with women and keeping them at bay as far away as possible from your heart, because you don't want to run the risk to get taken advantage of, right? And this is the wrong mindset to begin with. Now, I think what you can take away from the movement is that you must know how to deal with women if you are a man, because we think differently, right? And if we're looking at both sexes, we want different things from the relationships that we get into, right? So to for one, have these relationships last and be successful and fruitful, as a man, you have to be aware of the different dynamics that compose these relationships. So you have to have knowledge of self and of women, right? To have a successful relationship, but don't get it twisted. The goal of life is to have meaningful relationships, right? To have a family, to have a loving woman at your side, and to have kids, right? A legacy to leave behind that will outlast you. And you have to think about the fact that everything in this current society wants to kill the family, the nuclear family that has built the world that we live on, right? That we live in, rather. That's a telltale sign that this is actually an important figure, right? It could be all these companies, or it could be all these different movements. The feminism movement wants to kill the family because it wants to uplift the woman at the expense of the man. And Red Pill is going in a direction, not everybody, but it's going in a direction that actually resembles feminism, right? It came out of a necessity because men felt like they were being cheated by society, but then it looks exactly what feminism has become, right? And so you have to think about the fact that a lot of the people that preach this message are benefiting from you being in that situation. And the only reason why you don't know any better is because they take advantage, right? Like any other business and or service of the fact that you are without something. So they preach and sell to a lot of young men that are without sex. And because they are without sex, they think that the end all be all is sex. But sex gets old. If you've gotten with a woman or two, you know that getting sex, though it is very important, it gets old pretty quickly. And what matters is the ability to be able to build relationships, long-lasting relationships, interdependence between people, but that is controlled. What people really don't like is to be at the mercy of other people. And a lot of men that do not have any experience with women are at the mercy of said women because they don't know how to deal with it. So to make a long story short, you want to arm yourself with knowledge, practical and theoretical, on how to deal with the opposite sex, and then go forward. You don't want to be stuck in a phase where you hate people, because once again, it only feeds the what's going on right now, bro. Like, you're not gonna get off out of this life alone. Like, it's a really hard experience, and you can only do it, by not only by a family, but you want to have good relationships. Like, I'm speaking out of experience. I've gone through every single step of what can possibly be described of the red pill. And what you have to know, if you're ever going to get into that movement, is that you have to keep your individuality. You can't let whatever somebody's preaching define how you are going to act, because remember, these are just people. They have perceptions, opinions that they will push. And if you take their opinions as gospel, you become just like them. You don't know if they're jaded. You don't know if they have an ulterior motive. So don't get into a movement and lose yourself within the movement, because you're not like these people. You don't have the same life experience. You got to think about that. And I think that's what Andrew preaches. And mind you, if they're a really red pill, they wouldn't have any kids. I think both Andrew and Tristan, if I'm not mistaken, have kids. They have wives and women in their life that they love. I think one of the most important people in Andrew and Tristan's life are their assistants, women, who they love and like and appreciate very much. They have a mother that they take care of. So don't let all this bombastic speaking and talk for the media that they do convince you otherwise. So once again, the prescribed path and the formula will never change. It's just that it makes more money to have people separated. Think about that, divide and conquer. Be it the government, corporations, individuals on YouTube. So what you have to think about predominantly is that you have to always be scanning the information that's being given to you and not taking it at face value, because it's not always in your benefit, in your designed for you to be winning, right? So never let your guard down. Like, okay, people are putting out information, but it's up to you to interpret information and get the best outcome for yourself. If you got any information and help from this video, you know what to do. Subscribe and help your boy get to 1,000 subs. Fuck with your boy.